Okay, picture this. You downloaded a 3D model, like this Mia Tater model for example, and you're trying to mess with the bone frame. So when you go to model, and if you're trying to move the bone frame like this one for example, if you try to rotate it, so I'm just going to leave here for example and try to register it, and you see nothing pops up. I'm not going to name the individual who exported this model because most of the time some of them can be a bit lazy for not naming the bone frames correctly, and the bone frames are not available. If you look on the left side of the MMD program, all we have here is facial. That's the only thing they have listed on the bone frame timeline. So these are the only bone frames that are available to be shown. Like if we mess with the eye facial for example, and that one gets registered. If you're trying to mess with the bone, as I tried to show you earlier, it didn't register. Now I'll show you how to fix that problem, which concerns us showing the bone frames and fixing the bone frame timeline itself with the listing. So what you're gonna do is hopefully you have this downloaded already. The PMX editor available at the MMD website. So once you open it up, this may take a bit of a while. Go to File, Open, and go to that model that has hold on. And go to that model that has the bone frame problems. And once you do that, and I want to display, and this display here is what we seen earlier. It displays the bone frames available on the MMD program. So if we go back to it again, so let me just go back to the model again. Yeah, the facial is the only thing available that was listed on this PMX editor. In the description below, I'm gonna provide a list you could copy and paste on the PMX editor. The center, the IK, the eyes, upper body, lower body, arms, fingers, and legs. The models has this default display frame which you won't be able to delete it. So what I would highly recommend is whatever is left in here, which is the facial for example. So you can switch between the Japanese frame and English frame to know the name of what that frame serves for. And most of the time if the specific frame is incorrect, I would just delete it, but since most of these are facial specific, we're just gonna leave that there. So we're gonna start creating a new common display frame by clicking the Add New List. What I would do is copy it, make sure to paste it on the Japanese section in frame element, and for English you could either copy and paste it or just type it in. Make sure you do this for everything on the list. Alright, once you got that done, if you click on this section on where bone is, it gives you a complete list of bone frames available from this model. Different bones and models may vary whenever you look for one available online, so just to give you a heads up. So let's take care of the easiest one, which is IK. So let's go through the list and try to look for IK. If a specific one is not listed, so you may want to skip that one, or it may not be available for this model. So let's go through the eyes. Here are the bone for the eyes to display it on the model. So once you found the right bone, I would just click on that. Now these bones are now available to be displayed on the display frame. So we're gonna look for the upper body portion. It's really easy to identify thanks to the hiragana display. So like this, for example, the upside down T, and this one has an upside down T. Once you find it, just click on that. It looks like we may have that done. So we're gonna go for the lower body, which is the capital T. Once you found it, just click on that. Alright, let's look for the arm bone. So thankfully use the hiragana as a reference, as you could be able to easily identify what the name for that bone, which is right here, for example. Before I add it, what I would do is try to figure out if this bone frame belongs for the arms. So what I would do is hit on bone and find bone 36. As you know, is part of the arm. So I'll go back to display, and 36, and add it there, as this will be added to the display frame for the arms. And thanks to the hiragana, you'll be able to easily identify what kind of bone frame it is. Just make sure to click on add. And sometimes it may display on English, like the right arm bone, so make sure you add that bone as well. So if you don't know whatever this bone frame is part of it, so I would just go back, go to bone, and click on it, 39, and you'll be able to see that that bone is still part of the arm. As you can see, the 41 is not part of the arm, but part of the fingers, which will be taking care of that a bit later. Let's go to the fingers, and there is a lot of frames for the fingers. Okay, let me check on bone frame 41, and in my opinion, I guess that's considered part of the fingers from where it is located over here. So I would just consider that as part of the fingers. So you're gonna have to add a lot. So there's a lot of bones to add for the fingers. So make sure to just click on adding. Oh shoot. As you can see there, I accidentally added a bone that is not part of the finger. So if you want to remove the unnecessary bone, just click on the highlighted bone, name of the bone, and then click on the X to delete the item from the list. In which case, I accidentally added the bone frame 62 for the considering the age of this character. Not gonna say it. Make sure to click on the X, and that frame gets removed from the fingers list. Alright, let's go for the legs. Pretty easy to identify thanks to the hiragana here. I will double check the bone to make sure that's the bone frame you're gonna add. And that's the feet, so it is still part of the legs. It's really hard to see. As you can see here, there's the 11th bone, which is highlighted, so it is still part of the leg. So you may have noticed there's some extra bones that I have yet to be added. What I would do is, if most of them are written in hiragana, for example, I will probably just go back to bone and highlight it on each bone to make sure what kind of bone that is. But if you see the list of these bones displayed in English, then it is pretty much easier to identify which part of these bones are for the upper, lower body, the eyes, or the eye cave, or the center. And since we have the left skirt bones, it is safe to assume that we should add these skirt bones to the lower body. Sometimes they put the bone frames on the morph section, which is right over here. So what I would do is sometimes add them to the common display on the list of the display frames. So I'll go back to bone, try to figure out where that bone belongs to. As you can see here, oh, we just found our center bone. Sometimes I like to add the bone frames for some reason, so since that's our center, we're gonna add that there. As for 34, that is also our center bone. Let's look at 35. That's still our center. Alright, for the last bone, 36. Since that bone is part of the arm, let's go to the arm and add that there. So once you're done adding the morphs and the bone frames onto the list that we created, just go on File and click on Save. Make sure to save type as PMX, and leave the file name the way it is, or if you want to create a new file name itself, I'm not too sure why you want to. So I'm just going to leave it there so I can overwrite the model here that we selected with the bad bone frame names and the bad list that was shown earlier. So we're going to click on Save. We're going to overwrite it. That's done. We're going to exit the program. Let's open up Miku Miku Dance and go to model manipulation, load, and we're gonna select the model that we fixed. As you can see here, the bone frame timeline looks a bit different from before. The facial is still there, but we added the center bone, the IK, the eyes, the upper body, lower body, arms, fingers, and legs. And they're all kept on a neat little list, of which you'll be able to view on different individual bones. And this will fix the problem with the bone frames not showing off. So we're going to select the arm for example, we're going to rotate it, and we're going to register it. And the bone frame is available to be, and the bone frame is now showing up on the timeline. So we're going to select another bone. Let's pick her head, mess with that, register, and now the bone frame is available to be shown. And that is how you can fix the key frame bones that weren't shown, and fixing the list of the bone frames itself for the MMD models. The list I provided you is very helpful so you can organize the bone frames neatly, but fair warning, the MMD models may vary depending on the bone frames that they were given for individual models out there online. Just be very wary about it. I hope this really helps you to fix the problems with most of the MMD models out there, and hopefully this video helps you out how to fix that issue. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys on the next tutorial. Take care and have an awesome day.